Like,
there's a question, what is a tier jump? The tier jump is the bonus that we're giving players if they go from their bloodline rank tier 1. So this is basically rank 33 to 34. And then 3 to 34. And then when they jump from tier 2 to tier 3, which is from 66 to 67 ranks. We give you like a big chunk of money right now. It's 5K. And this would be reduced to 1K with these changes. Also, there's one thing to keep in mind around the loot bonus. So this is like for the rank 100 guys that basically have this reoccurring experience. And that means that the 8K experience points you need to accumulate actually has been lowered to 5K. So, so it means it's still going to be a lot less than 666, but you might see those 200 pop up more frequently now as well. So it's like 3K less XP. 5K to be precise rather than 8K to get this recurring 200 bonus.
Well, that's the thing. You cannot no longer stock for your tier 100 gear because that will have a limit of 1 contraband.
Yes.
So there's no point to hog all the free gear from a tier 100.
We want people, like the contraband mechanic is primarily to make people experience the content. Like so, steal it from a dead guy or get it from a earned quick play hunter. But can't make a profit of it anyways, so don't save it up, add something cool to it, go and play. That's the intention of it. That's what we want people to do with it.
Yeah, so we have in the regular mode you can do challenges for money, which is new. You get the free tier hunter always still, the tier 1. You can still pick up a better weapon from a player in the map that you kill.
Absolutely.
So there are so many ways that you can get in with either for free or go in with a low tier weapon and still pick up a very expensive weapon and play with that. So there are many possibilities without actually having to spend a lot of money on playing the game.
This is something where you will see with 4.0 there's going to be a bit of a dynamic shift within the meta. Like,
exactly.
It's like how you experience content. The way we want to approach this and the way we're trying to roll these changes out is to keep what is there pristine for the most part. So if you enjoy Hunt the way it is at the moment, there's not going to be a great deal changing about it. You can play with your friend against other people in the normal way on the 2 maps we have, extracting bounty, being risky, doing the things you like. But there is the second pillar, like besides that we're now introducing, which is a way for people to kind of prepare for the matches in the other mode, in Bounty Hunt, through playing a quick play. But also in general, like if they don't have that much time, that much commitment, they can just go in and have some fun. They can still learn the game because of the similarities between the 2 modes, like the clue collection, the way you encounter players. The tactical aspect are pretty much the same thing. They're trying to, like, whatever you learn in quick play actually benefits you in the normal mode and vice versa. You have a chance to like, if you're a new player and you would just play quick play for the first 10 matches, you would, I guarantee you, have a much easier time with your first game in Bounty Hunt, like in the get-go. So it's important for us that we don't divert, we don't separate the community between 2 different modes, but to actually have just a different experience of the same thing, technically, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm just reading through some of the questions because like a lot of people are like thinking it's gonna change a lot. I personally think that you guys all should give it a go and then give us
very soon
feedback.
Very soon. So at the moment we're looking into test server deployment in this week. Looks promising at the moment. I can't promise it completely, obviously.
Oh, that one, sorry. Like, we'll have both maps quick play or just one?
At the moment, quick play is planned for both maps off the get-go. Also, there was this one change we can talk about in a sec. Actually, I can talk about it right now, but it affects the new map. So with 4.0, we're going to move Lawson Delta, the new map, into the normal random rotation as well. So that if you're clicking on a random mission, you will be able to get either one or the other. So we're basically moving into the next state of developing Lawson Delta by just having it like appear in the normal rules for quick play, but also for the random mission, etc. Obviously, you might still find a separate mission with that map, but if you just play like a random mission now, you might end up on Stillwater Bayou, or you might end up in Lawson Delta.
Yes. Okay, that means we still have, I think, one thing left. The level changes.
Yes. So let's start with the first thing here. So Lawson Delta. with 4.0, we mentioned at the very beginning, 4.0 is primarily a main update because we want to roll out a new version of Lost in Delta. So we've seen like a lot of changes that's been done by our level team, by the art team, kind of like replacing some of the white box assets, fixing out of bugs and issues, repositioning spawn points, more cover. Just overall the quality of things has improved across the board. So we don't even have like a detailed list here. The best thing for you guys is that once you make it available in test server, you just play it, you enjoy it, you see what you discover. There's lots of things to be discovered. Like you should overall see a much higher quality of the details inside the compounds, like the different areas, etc. So you should see just the map from a quality perspective, just feeling nicer, more enjoyable, being taken to the next level. So we're not going to go into detail about what it all means here right now. Just we leave that for you guys to actually try out on the test server once it goes there.
We also don't have any screenshots of the new changes for Lost in Delta.
But they're awesome.
But they're awesome. But we had some changes for the original map.
For our original map, which we internally call Cemetery. But this refers to obviously the Stillwater Bayou. So what you can see here, Bayou. What you can see here at the moment is the different spawn points, and what we've seen is that specifically the top left and the bottom right corner are pretty challenging if you spawn there. To say they could also be borderline frustrating sometimes. Now, what we try to do is tackle those two areas in particular. So what we see here is how particular spawn points as a first step have been moved. So especially in the top left, you see that you see these little red arrows up here. So you see them move from one position to their new position. So actually the corner one moved a little bit more in, while the one above has moved a little bit to the east side. The main idea between like those changes for the changes is it gives you more direction, right? Like so in this one here, you're more likely to actually commit to going to the lumber sector rather than going pushing into the fish farm sector. So
yeah, because you have the path of the two directly in the middle of the.
And we did something similar in the bottom where we moved the southwestern.
Oh, you guys can see it? No, there's nothing here. Oh, wrong way.
There's literally nothing there.
There is nothing, nothing there.
So it's one spawn point change on the bottom, which kind of moves a little bit closer to the slaughterhouse area, so that players are also more likely to go there rather than again pushing into catfish. Now, since the corners usually have a higher concentration of spawn points, having like two like adjacent map borders, that means just systemically there's more players currently converging on that. And by doing these changes, we kind of separate them out a little bit. I think you can move back to the position. So in general, we also updated the positions around these points. So in next screenshots, we're going to go through those step by step. Actually, let me see. We start on the bottom. So with A, B, C, and then afterwards we go and shift back up to D, E, F, and G, just to show you a little bit like how it looks at the moment and what are the changes for it.
I want to like make sure that I'm not. Wait, I'll smooth myself.
I mean, there's nothing next to B.
I know, but this is better if people can see it.
Okay. So let's start with A. So in this case, we move the spawn point a little bit closer to slaughterhouse, and so you can see like the pathing has been updated a little bit, so that the players actually just like have more of a natural flow towards slaughterhouse to the left side rather than going on the right side along the last like the big open space towards catfish. With spawn point B, there was the one in the far south. We basically rearrange the paths, so you have more options to move left, right, etc. We also give you more cover. This is especially important when it comes to like water devils and kind of like boxing you to a specific area or grunts patrolling on it. Again, there's a synergy of different mechanics kicking in here. It's the silent headshots, which allow you to get rid of some of these blockers that before would always reveal you to other players, as the dying sounds of the grunts, etc. kind of revealed you. Plus, obviously, the pathing options we improved here so that people can kind of move around a bit more, have a bit more options depending if there's crows left, right, etc. There's always like an alternative path for you to go and explore, and you have a bit more cover as you go and get closer to the compounds.
Both in the way. It will never stop.
Yeah, it reads options and cover. Yeah, just move us around.
Well, they
but
can't see.
You need to keep on moving us now from screenshot to screenshot.
Okay, yeah. There we go. And we're going to...
Okay, then we look at the last one in the southeast corner. So in this case, as you can see, like in the small one, we had a pretty open area. So like very few trees. You can see, I mean, just use the cursor here. Very open, very exposed, very easy to see as you move to the compound with the guys starting in the south. Like you might very often end up in firefights being fired at as you even were moving still to the area. So everything has been changed a little bit to give you more cover as you safely approach into the compound. And kind of like has given you a bit more options to avoid water devils or AI and other enemies around. Just make it more fair for these spawn points to move into this area. Then we are going to move up to the northwest at Crawfish Fish Factory. So this is spawn point D. Let me actually go quickly back to the map so you guys can put this in perspective. Again, the ones we're going to look at now is going to be D, E, F, and G. So we're going to move from the west to the north, northeast, and further east. So this is the first one, the westmost. As you can see, like this is the boss building. You're directly west of the boss building here. So we improved the approach of it. As you can see, there's overall a bit less water there. So we kind of like receded the water, made sure you have more clearer paths to move into the compound. There's still going to be some barriers, and you might want to jump over something here and there, but it's a bit more accessible. It's not as swampy. As it was before. And then we have
I lost my foot. Crawfish,
crownfish, crawfish, crowfish.
No.
And this is the next one. This is the one which was in the far north. As you can see here, again, this is the boss building. This is this isolated small hut that was a little bit to the north halfway through. So this spawn point actually has moved a little bit away from the edge of the map down into the area, but since everything around it has been cleared out, it actually feels much nicer. And again, we've kind of gotten rid of some of the water, just made it a bit easier to verse around, give you a couple more walk paths. Exactly. So, I mean, there might still be water devils, they might still restrict you, which is their purpose, but you have more options. You don't feel boxed in. There was always, like, especially in northwest and in the southeast, the problem that the water devils kind of dictated what you could do, and very often just forced you to reveal yourself, and with other nearby teams, you were at a severe disadvantage. So
I know a lot of people want a snow map, but it's not as easy to make. Trust me.
How do we shift from that to a snow map now?
I mean, we can just make it snow wherever we want. I mean, global warming. Global warming cools everything down. That's how it works, right?
I mean, at the moment the water recedes, so we see more land. Now this is the spawn point that was directly basically northeast of
Mill and Lumber.
Of Mill. I can go back to the chart for you guys. So this is basically around this area here, and this has been moved a little bit to the east. Going back to it. So now this one point basically moves you a little bit closer to the mill, which means players are less likely to move into the corner compound, but maybe actually push towards mill. And as such, relieve the corner a little bit from too many players trying to rush there in the beginning. Also, we open up some of the paths a little bit, just like suggest you to really go there. The player leading has been improved. Plus, obviously, cover options to avoid like getting camped or like spawn attacked too quickly. And then the last change, this is more of a consequential change. This is the one which is on the northeast side of the sawmill compound. So this one has been just moved slightly, like, but it's mostly about adding additional like cover to it. For example, like it's being bigger, like bushes, trees being added there as a side protection, so you can't just like shoot across the field. There's some elevation we added to the hill to kind of like serve as more like hard cover for the guys spawning, possibly as your neighbors on the right hand side. And it just means that like this compound, like this spawn point had to change slightly in order to be much fairer, but also be more protected by having these like hay bales, hail stacks there, and just overall makes it feel consistent with the other spawns. Yeah, that's it. I think what we've been doing.
That was it. Yeah. So.
Yay! Update 4.0.
Yeah.
So this is what we have in store for you guys. Again, we aim on hitting the test server later this week if everything works out. We still want to iron out some of the bugs. Plus, we still want to improve some of the readability, and specifically in quick play. You've seen like some of the work in progress art we still have in for playtesting purposes. Yeah. And once we have that basically ready, hopefully like towards the second half of this week, We roll this out on a test server, and then it's up to you guys to provide us feedback again. Because again, we need your feedback. It's very, very important. Be that for inventory size limits, whether it's a good idea or it's a bad idea, how much you think is like a good number for limits. What do you think about quick play? Like, is it a good mode? Do you think it's worthwhile? Do you think that you see potential risks with it or issues with it?
I'm actually curious. We can do a poll.
Yeah, poll
on Twitch. It only works in Twitch.
Twitch polls.
But, do you like quick play? Or, well, I mean, you can't obviously say because you haven't tried it, but like I'm very curious to see what your first opinion is on quick play.
Future technology.
Future technology. There should be something on the stream if you're watching on Twitch where you can vote.
Let's see if that works. Never used that. So I think people are trying to vote now in chat, but I think it should be a poll popping up somewhere, right?
Yeah, I think it should be pop up.
Yeah. In any case, we will also continue doing polls in our Discord channel. Like we'll start like put like surveys out for you guys to give us a bit more detailed feedback. And just have a chance to feedback to us what you like about particular changes, what you hate, what you think you would do differently, where you see some risks, where maybe it wasn't clear enough, like what the different options are. So it might feel weird to you guys because maybe you didn't quite understand how it really fits in. But again, there's going to be a test server period, like with any big update we do, and in that update, in the test period, like we would like to get feedback from you guys, listen to you guys, and adjust along the way, as you've been doing, I think, very successfully with update 3.0 and some of the previous updates as well.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll close it in a second. I'm just very curious. So at the moment, 83% wins. It's sad that you can't see like the actual total, but like 83% likes it, 70% doesn't like it.
Okay, that's pretty encouraging and promising already.
Yeah,
again,
I mean, obviously, you know,
once you guys have a chance to actually try it out later this week, hopefully, then like there was going to be feedback threads about it, etc. Make sure that you let us know what you think about it, what you feel it lacks, or what you really like and would like to see more in that mode, and we'll see how it goes from there.
Exactly. So yeah, I would do a quick recap, but it's quite a lot of information.
Are you sure you're up for another of those recaps?
A wrap cap? No. Okay. So what we have is quick play. 4.0 is gonna have quick play, which is a new game mode where you are in 50 minutes try to get 4 clues the first, or like it doesn't have to, but then you can get the bounty on you. You are the harvesting, and then you get as much points as you can get, and hopefully stay alive, because then you can take your hunter out, keep that, will be contraband, and also the bounty of the war, like amount of money you have harvested, you keep as well. And then obviously when you're the last person, you stay in a zone, or you have to stay in the zone when you stay alive. Actually, I'm going reverse. Doesn't matter. Anyways, you get that hunter. You can recruit him for free, just like you recruit other hunters in a special quick play hunter tab when you recruit. Then what we have some AI changes. Well, that's already explained. We have AI changes. Oh, gunplay
improvements first.
Things go faster. That's just how you can do things faster. You can easily swap left, right, quickly throw weapons, or like throw
consumables,
like
bombs. Yeah,
just throw the weapons. They don't have to shake 500 hours anymore. It's like your hive is ready, or hive bomb rather. We have AI changes where we have masks on some of the hellhounds that look really awesome. Body dismemberment, so if you shoot them, they will like
if you kill them
lose more
on
bits.
death, like with the other
exactly.
AI. Yes.
The headshots are now silent, so if you hit a headshot on AI only, you don't have the death sound, so it's not like so still you can
do it again.
You can stay, not so visible and also quiet. So hellhounds, beautiful. We have challenges. So now we have daily challenges and weekly challenges, which makes you able to win. Well, yeah, win because you complete them, or earn rewards. So like you have golden rewards, which are really good because they're gold. Then we have bronze rewards that are bad because they're bronze. And then in the middle you have silver rewards, and they're silver because they're middle. That's just how it works. That's how medals work.
I think it sums it up nicely.
And you can see them on the map as well while you complete them. We're going to have all the kinds of challenges. Will be cool. Inventory limits. We're going to limit the inventory because we don't want you guys to buy 10,000 sabers.
Fail spawner.
And and then just have 10,000 sabers, or buy 10,000 sabers and try to sell them, but then realize that we didn't change the price at all. Which happens. Same with contraband. You'll only have one type of contraband weapon each, because we also don't want people to take off the free hunters, just murder them. Like, those hunters have lives and families too, you know? They work hard for you. So they deserve, you know, your time worth. We have money changes. Less money, because that's good. Because you get a lot of free other stuff. Get good. No, I'm joking. Level changes. We have made some level changes to the old map. But also new map, you see that in-game.
Massive update on the new map.
That's about it.
That's it?
Done.
Done. I think.
Be good for your free hunters.
I think we
Think
can
about
move.
their families.
We can move into the Q&A part.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the wrap up.
You guys want some questions related to 4.0? Obviously, if you've missed anything in detail, definitely rewatch the stream, because this was really fast. I can understand. But yeah,
here come the questions.
Here come the questions. Let's see. So obviously people ask, oh, that's a good question, because I heard about the what about a reset of like...
Yes, so the reset we want to do still, or I think we have to do one still. And originally we wanted to do that together with the crafting update, since we keep on moving the crafting update further and further because of other things, other priorities coming in, and us adjusting like to the feedback, etc. Unfortunately, it also moves that deadline around. So we still think that together with the crafting, it's the most and best time for us to doing a wipe. And resetting stats, etc. Obviously, we're going to keep the prestige ones, as we mentioned in the previous streams. We originally also wanted to do these limitations of the inventory together at the same time, because it would be less painful, or perceived less painful. Since we think that since we introduced the contraband weapons and these other new mechanics, I think it is needed. We think it is needed to have these limits in the place right now. They give us more freedom for tuning on the test server without you guys going crazy on purchases. But also makes sure that you kind of focus on using stuff rather than hoarding stuff. We want to do those changes right now. They might be perceived a bit painful here and there. Again, we want to see what are good numbers. So we need your feedback on that. But we didn't want to wait until crafting comes for this to go in effect. Yeah.
I see a lot of people ask about the field of view slider still, and like that has nothing to do with 4.0, but field of view and a centered crosshair. Centered crosshair, I think, is out of option forever. Like that's
centered crosshair at the moment is out of the question, because our weapons are aligning to crosshair position, and we want them to be less intrusive on the screen. We don't want the weapon to be high up. We want it to be outer way. One of the reasons why we introduced like the different types of aiming is just you can take more of the world in. Also, our gunplay is very different from other games, and I think it kind of helps with that. If at one point we give you a chance to center the crosshair in, like decouple from the weapons, that's to be discussed, but it's nothing which is around the corner.
Yeah.
Same for an FOV slider. FOV slider, if you know one of our like previous games, like it's always hard to implement, and it's not been a priority for us. We want to do that eventually, but it's not an easy thing, and therefore it will take some time.
Exactly. The outlines, are we actually adjusting them for 4.0? Because I know we haven't.
So one thing we've noticed is that with the introduction of the new map of Lost and Delta and the time of day that Lost and Delta came with, we saw a bit of desaturation happening on screen, and that led to unintended to like the blue outline to be less visible than it was in some of the other modes. So we're currently looking into changing that, making sure that a time of day specific solution is in place, so we can say like be a little bit bigger, a bit brighter in a particular time of day. This is being worked on. We cannot say for sure if this will happen for 4.0, but we have people actively looking into this right now to make sure it's a bit easier to see your partner still.
Exactly. So the red zone is not fine. Like the way it looks is not final. That circle, which will be around the player, will change. Like we're still working on making it look like it fits into Hunt. This is just
it's just a placeholder for internal testing.
It's literally the functional like appearance. Like you know, red is bad. Don't go there.
The next time you'll be able to actually like try this out later in the week. You will see that this is actually only appearing in front of you if you get really close to it. So you won't see this in 200-meter distance already there. This only starts fading in like roughly around that distance, maybe a little bit, maybe the other end of that bridge, like we're talking about 30-40 meters maybe. Only when you start getting close to it, within that radius to it, would you start seeing it pop in. It would not be a red effect. It would be something themed to the color of the clues and the effects we have for dark side and vanishing, etc. So think about more like themed around that. Again, unfortunately, we couldn't show you a picture of it yet because it's still in progress. But functionally, it's just meant to contain the player who's currently the prime target for everybody else, so he just doesn't run away in a straight line, and everybody just feels like they have to chase him for 3-4 minutes, not getting anywhere, and overall the quick play experience suffering tremendously from it.
So someone had a good question. What about if you shoot the hellhounds exactly through the mask in an eye, for example?
Yes, so at the moment it's very basic from a setup point of view. We want to refine this further. We have to see if on the time we go on the test server we manage to do that. So for example, if you look with a sniper rifle specifically at like the morph from the guy, you ideally want to shoot him still and kill him, right? Like only if you hit the mask should it affect. At the moment it's a first version of it. It's very basic, which means it covers most of the head. We want to carve out more spaces, make it a bit more precise, so that it actually feels more appropriate for where you think you should have hit.
Yeah. So there's a new boss in the works. When that comes, time will tell.
We'll talk about it in the future.
Exactly. So I know a lot of people are a little bit worried about the fighting of the community with Quick Play and Classic. Obviously, with the actual like 2 maps coming together in the random pool together, that will already take out the forced, map.
Kind of helps us streamline a little bit.
Exactly.
And depending on the region and amount of missions we can make available there, like you still have like obviously your daytime spider on Lawson Delta or your butcher mission on the other one. Also, one thing we want to do with 4.0 is introduce 2 target missions for Lawson Delta as well, so that you can now find like both targets in the same map, just as it is for the regular mission.
I know a lot of people are like eagerly waiting still for the Xbox version. Obviously, we want to make sure that the Xbox version is ready when we ship it and in a good playable state. So that's why we're taking our time, making sure that it's good, because obviously we can't push something that's not ready, because then you can't play it. And you have the game and you still can't play it. So we take our time and we want to make sure that it works. You know, that you have a good experience.
Expect some more information on that, like not too far away.
We'll get more, exactly. But when we can't say, but we are working on it, and we just want to make sure that it's, good. Let's see. Does Quick Play also have the anti-teaming feature?
Yes, it does. Actually, Quick Play or similar thing, what we've seen on the solo-only event we had earlier, anti-teaming is kind of an important feature for that.
Yeah.
We've seen that with a solo-only event where people were trying to kind of like, even though they were solo, like still partner up by pressing the button at the same time. And then like they would just alternate, like this time I win, next time you win. It would just kind of help each other. If that would be possible in Quick Play, it would be very much hurting that mode. So anti-teaming is an essential feature that specifically for Quick Play has to work, because otherwise it just opens up the door for exploitation.
Yeah, especially any solo. So people, I'm not sure, because like a lot of people say, or like some people say that why reward Quick Play more than Classic? I personally don't think we reward Quick Play more than Classic, because like the hunter is contraband. And still, like, he still starts at level 1. So, like, yes, you can take that hunter, and you can take that hunter to your actual game.
Yeah,
so,
but also you don't 100% know what you will be getting, right?
Exactly.
It really depends on what you...
very random.
I mean, it comes down to, first off, like, what is the random pistol or hand cannon, shotgun, or melee weapon that you start with, depending on your choices. You can kind of choose a little bit your playstyle from the beginning. But also, like, what do you find from their players? What do you find from weapons scattered around the world? Do you maybe need to swap your weapons along the way for something else? Maybe you win with a weapon that you actually didn't like that much, but it was effective to win. Like, you have not as 100% control as you would have control if you would just buy your hunter as is.
Yeah. Yeah, you take damage if you're not in your zone with the bounty. So it's just to prevent the people with the bounty to run away too far.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think we'll just do 1 or 2 more questions, because we have quite a lot of people. Oh, there was another one. Are we getting the bomb lens? Like, when is that actually coming?
Yeah, that's still coming. And I think I mentioned in the last stream, it looks very much like a weapon I would really like to craft. Like it looks very makeshift. Looks like a great thing you could kind of build out of different pieces and stuff. So that might give you a bit of a hint when this might be dropping.
Exactly. Yeah, so we'll still use the ELO system. Okay, let's do 1 more question, like a good one.
Yeah, good one.
About specifically the thing. Oh, wait.
Read it first. Make sure it's a good one. So if there's maybe anything about Quick Play which has been unanswered, still unanswered.
I personally, well, Boo Boo, I just answered your questions. 2 of them were explained or answered. And also, I don't think we should be worried that people will, you know, ruin the game by
what was the
playing
question?
with challenges.
The question was
Challenges. Worried about people fucking up the game. Sorry. When going for challenges, FA, you want to silent approach clues, boss, and your partner. Well, I mean, you can still silently do that. Or
to be fair, it's a similar thing already because you still already get XP, right? I mean, if you have a partner who is basically just there for farming quickly, to rank up faster and then leave early, which is about tactic, then you might already have that problem. The challenges, they're not meant to divert you too much from the mission objective. They're just more of a side thing. Also, like, we don't want you to have to farm like 500 grunts or something like that. So basically, you have to shoot every little grunt you see for a full week. They have to be reasonable challenges, stuff that you can actually achieve, and kind of like spices up your experience rather than completely setting you on a different track for completing that particular challenge.
Exactly. Okay, I have one last question. Will we have 2 bosses in Lawson if the map goes through?
Yes, I just mentioned that. It's basically, with the new update, we also introduced the 2 target missions on Lawson Delta, so you can have the Spider and the Butcher both on the same map, as is already the case for the old map for our Stillwater Bayou. Bayou. Okay,
well, obviously we would love to answer all questions, but if you still have questions, go to our social media, go to our Discord, which is discord.gg/HuntShowdown, or Twitter or Facebook/HuntShowdown, and ask them there, because we will answer them there. Obviously, we will be able to explain more in some other dev streams, because I know that a lot of people ask about things that are coming later, like new boss. Obviously, we'll do a dev stream for that. We'll do a new dev stream, maybe something with the new AI, you know, just keep on doing. So obviously, hopefully, this week, test of Quick Play, or well, 4.0.
I see a couple of questions coming up here regarding...
If you have Tinder?
No,
no. Not that question?
I think I'm not allowed by my girlfriend to have Tinder.
Sorry, he's taken.
I have seen a couple of questions here, actually, which are interesting, which is about time of day for the new map.
Okay.
So not for 4.0, but soon.
But are we getting a new one, or are we getting the old one?
We talk about this more in the future. But I think what we want to get to is giving you the same experience as you have on the old map, also on a new map over time. It just takes time to tune and adjust, like light sources, fire camps, etc. So expect nighttime, expect fog, and other times of days to hit us eventually.
Exactly. So, as I said before, you can ask all remaining questions on social media. He's also on the Discord, where you can find him under the name Niles. I gave up his cover. So just bog him there. It's fine. You can bog all of us there. So if you have questions, ask them. Try 4.0 out, hopefully this week on test, and otherwise very soon.
Yes.
And then obviously we can get all your feedback. We'll do more, as you might have noticed on the Discord. We'll do more surveys, because it will give us a better overview for them.
Yes.
Because they want numbers.
Yes, numbers.
They want a lot of data. I like how you say data. They want data.
Data.
So we'll be doing some more surveys, also probably on social media. So if you can help us with that, fill those in, because that data is very valuable to us, because then they can change things according to your wishes.
Or completely ignore it if you like.
Or ignore it. That happens too. Yeah, I know that.
All right.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and until next time.
See you on the servers.
Bye.